Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we'll be talking about cabin crew in super long flights. What are they going to do in order not to get bored? What's allowed, what's not allowed? I will be sharing with you some pictures, some videos, as I don't have so many pictures and so many videos, but I managed to find some of them on board. And keep on watching till the end because you don't want to miss story time, and I bet you will learn so many things from this story because it's about what other cabin crew member can do to you when you are a new joiner, and what we did to a soupy girl who was flying with us with the video. So if you're new with us, subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up, share the video if you like it, and let's start. Before we go ahead and start talking about cabin crew in long flights like 17 hours flight, I want to say something to all of you here, especially cabin crew who are watching me. Guys, you know, when I share stories about us, what happened on layovers, on flights, I don't mean to be mean to all of you or to any of you. I don't mention any names, any nationality whatsoever, so it's not to shame you or anything like that, but it's for our people here, the future cabin crew, to learn from all of our mistakes. Now, I don't only share stories about other cabin crew members, I also share stories about myself for you to learn from my stupid mistakes. So please don't take it personal when I share stories. I know that some of you will just know it's them I'm talking about, but no one else will know it's you unless you comment down there and you blame me and you tell me that I need to go to prison for sharing these stories. Then everyone will know it's you. And this is speaking about one girl who was with us in Mauritius. And the story that I told you, you know, happened in Mauritius, and I told you so many things, but then I didn't say everything that happened and what people were saying and what this specific girl was doing. And then she came to me and she attacked me like I don't know what I did, and I'm like, girl, please, if I wanted I would have said not your name, but then what you said exactly, because that is disgusting what you do. Girl, please have some respect to your partner. This is what I wanted to start this video with, and let's go ahead and talk about cabin crew during the flight. And this is extremely positive video because even sometimes the flights are super duper long, but sometimes I don't want them to end because we can have some amazing cabin crew. Literally, you can have some people that you will talk with in the extra time like you cannot imagine the fun you can have, and you can actually make friends for life during those flights. Let's start with, for example, Sydney flight, Auckland flight, that is 17 hours. That's super duper long. When we start the flight, of course, you will have to rest before the flight so much because you don't want to be super duper tired during the flight. Now, in the briefing room, we will go to the briefing room before we go to the aircraft, as I told you many times before. Then the supervisor and the purser, they will ask us, when do you want to have your break? They will ask from senior ones to junior ones, and then if you're lucky or if you're senior enough, you will have the third break. I think all of us agree that most cabin crew choose the third break because you won't be tired in the first hour of the flight or the first 3 hours of the flight, but then later on you will want to have your break. I personally always choose the third break because I want to rest. I want to have my 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours rest and sleep before I land. And then when I finish my break, I come out of the CRC, I do my surveys, my very short surveys, and then we land. I land super fresh and I'm ready to go out and do some sightseeing or whatever I wanted to do. So basically they do divide the breaks in the briefing room, and then we go to the flight. The first thing that we need to do is we do our checks. All cabin crew need to do the checks for their area. As I told you, they do give you a position, like where you're going to be working. If you're working in economy class, of course, they will give you a position next to your door that you need to be monitoring. Anyways, and then we do the checks, then the person will call us, he will collect the checks, or the supervisor if it's a 2 floors aircraft, and then we give them the checks, everything is checked, and make sure you do your checks properly, because if they found, for example, something missing in your area, like an oxygen bottle or something like that, you will go in big trouble, because it means you didn't do your checks properly. So please do your checks properly. Do your checks correctly and make sure you check the seat pockets, the seats, like this is what we do basically. Anyways, he collects the checks, and then they say, okay, ready for boarding. And I'm talking about economy class here because you will all start from economy class. Now, if you want me to do about business class, I'm more than happy to do that, but you will start from economy class, so I will start talking about economy class. Anyways, and then of course you will do your boarding position in your area. You stand there, you smile. Now, something here, guys. We all do it. We are all human. We all make mistakes, including me. Especially if I find someone that I really click with during that flight, then we start talking, chit-chatting. We forget about the customers that are coming, and we're just smiling, but then we're chit-chatting. You're not supposed to do that, and you can actually be reported for doing that. So during boarding, you need to welcome all passengers. You need to be very vigilant what customers, how they're looking, if they're sober, if they're sick, if they're, you need to help them with the seats. You're not supposed to carry their luggage. If they ask you to carry their suitcases for them, you can nicely tell them that I'm more than happy to assist you, but you're not going to carry it yourself because you will break your bag. Because you will break your back, and then you were not covered for that. The company will not give you money for that, or handle you if you break your back because you carried someone's suitcase and they tell us we're not supposed to carry it for them. We only help them with that. We finish boarding, we will receive a phone call, and then they will tell us that all customers are on board. The last customer boarded the aircraft, which means we will start by doing the welcoming service. Now, in economy class, as I told you, we all have our dedicated positions, which means by the book, we all need to do something specific. We can actually talk it out, some people can do something. If you don't like to do the toys, you can do the menus, but by the book. Then some positions will need to go in the cabin with the toys, just like this one for the kids, and we give it to them, and then the others will go with the menus. Before, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, it was like more than this, way more, because we needed to do refreshment towels as well, but then they removed them. Yay, less things to do when we are doing the welcoming service. Anyways, we finish all of that. Hopefully we finish all of that before we close the doors and before we take off. Otherwise, if we did not finish them, then we need to keep doing them when we take off, and then we change into our waistcoats. We need to finish those things. Now, if we finish them, khalas, when we take off, we need to start preparing for the service. In economy class, as I told you, the galley, the person who is responsible for the galley, the kitchen, the small one, and the supervisor will be responsible for the aft galley, the big kitchen in the back. We do all of that. We finish our service, it will take us around 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. If it's like very, very tough, it will take us 3 hours, or especially if we have a lot of new people with us, then it will take us a lot of time actually. Anyways, we finished that. Then the first group of people will go in their break and they will have their sleep, and then we will stay. And as I told you, then we will have to divide the duties that we need to do in that break. We have something called we care, which means we have to go in the cabin every 45 minutes first to check on the customers, which means if you see someone who needs a blanket, you give him a blanket. Well, cabin crew, we all miss this part, honestly. So when they tell us we care time, we basically never go in the cabin and check on customers, which is really we're bad people. But we do go with a tray in the cabin of juices, and we offer anyone who wants a juice and water, and some other people will go to the toilet and they spray the toilet, they change the toilet paper, like something like this. And then we finish that. Okay, what are we supposed to do now? Well, we do a lot of things. We talk a lot. We stay in the aft galley. We talk about every single thing. Literally everything. Like, we met only a few hours ago, but then you will find us talking about things that you cannot imagine yourself talking about those things with someone that you just met. But this is cabin crew life. We actually click in the briefing room. We start even talking about our personal lives in the briefing room. Now, for the food and how we sit, we actually have jump seats that we sit in, like this one, but then of course they will not fit all of us, so we take the containers that we put things in, for the dry stores, the chocolate, the jars, everything is there, but then we take them and we sit on them. So basically these are the seats of cabin crew. We sit on these. For the food, what we eat on board, we can either eat the leftovers, but it's not really leftovers because, no one touched them. You actually can keep something for yourself from the customer's meal if you like them. And we also have a crew cart with crew food. They give us the food, for example, vegetarian, something with meat, some salads, some bread, some things in that crew cart. But most healthy crew, they never eat food on board, and that includes me. Not because I'm healthy, because that food literally killed my stomach. Before, when I used to eat on board, I arrive and I'm like all bloated. You cannot imagine how much I'm bloated from the food. People will tell me it's because of flying, but nope, it's not because of flying, it's because of the food on board. It makes me like, oh my god, imagine like I land and I go to the pool or the beach, I'm like, I'm already fat, and then with that belly I'm like, that's like, so I stopped eating food on board. I didn't have any more that bloating. My stomach was like, so relieved, everything was okay. So I will highly recommend, do not eat food on board, because you're not like regular customers when they eat food on board like once in a week or once in a month. You will be eating it literally all the time, and then definitely it will hurt your stomach. I'm not saying the food is like bad, but I don't know, I think the things they put in to keep it, not expiring because it has an expiry date and stuff, those things really hurt your stomach. We keep on doing, we care, we keep on talking, we keep on doing all of that, and then when your break arrives, you will just go, you will try and sleep on board. Well, I really had problems sleeping in the CRC because I do try and cover it as much as possible with blankets. I take like business class blankets, first class blankets, and I try and cover it as much as possible, but then, those imaginations just going through my head, I just can't sleep there unless I take melatonin. Now, melatonin, I don't know if you know it, but it actually makes you sleep, and it's all natural. When I tell people that I take melatonin to sleep on board, they are shocked. Like, how can you take melatonin and you wake up in 2 hours? Well, it's me. I'm a very when I sleep, I'm very light. So I sleep and I'm like, I wake up like super duper fast. But they say melatonin is not allowed, because I don't know who reported us for taking melatonin on board, but they say melatonin is not allowed. Do not take it on board, and do not take it also before you have a flight, because it will just keep you, dizzy and sleepy during that flight. But it's not true. It never made me sleepy. The opposite. When I take melatonin, I sleep my 2 hours like a baby, and then I wake up fresh like never, but if I don't take it, I don't sleep at all, and then I'm grumpy when I go back to the service. So, and also it does not show in the drug test, because I took it so many times and they did drug tests on me, and all of my friends as well, they used to take melatonin and they never, find it in the system, because it's all natural. So I would say, if you feel comfortable taking melatonin just to sleep and to have your rest, then do it. Now, sometimes you don't just have fun with the crew on board, but you also have fun with the customers. Some customers are like, oh my god, a blessing, for real. Like, they're amazing. They will come on board and they will just don't want to take their seats, and some people will think it's frustrating that you're having people just standing there, but I like it when they come and talk to us and they're just like us, they're telling us everything, we're telling them everything. And it's quite cool. And you have some people trying to put the hat of the cabin crew, just like in here. They're two straight guys, but then they were amazing people, and they actually put our lipstick on their lips and they put the hat, which is amazing. You have customers like this that you can have fun with during the flight, and sometimes even you stay in contact with some of the customers. You can help them, they can help you. So be cool to the cool customers, the amazing ones, because you will have some amazing customers that can be friends for life. Something else, you can always hear cabin crew complaining about the pilots and the captains, that they're mean and they don't treat us well. But I personally never had that issue with a pilot or a co-pilot. I never felt that they're treating me less than them. This is my personal, thing. The opposite, I actually click with some of them who are not really, dirty, and they look at you like you are a piece of, meat, but the nice ones, I actually do click on them. And we had one amazing pilot that I don't remember his nationality, but you can see a video here that he was the coolest pilot you can ever have, and it was Christmas time. Christmas is not something in my religion, but then it is something when everyone is celebrating Christmas. You just, go with the fun, you go with the flow and you have fun, whatever. So basically, when we went down in the hotel to go to the flight, he was dressed like Santa and he was singing. We were taking pictures in the bus. He was all the time singing. He brought candies, and some people are just amazing.
Wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We're styling sweet dreams.
We don't know. I can't follow. Oh my god. 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 Oh my god, thank you.
And some supervisors are amazing. It actually depends on you. It does not matter your nationality or anything else. It just matters who you are as a person. I had one time this supervisor, she was literally giving gifts to all of us during Christmas time. She bought to all cabin crew, and we were not a few people, it was 380, so it was 2 floors, it was a lot of us, and she still gave gifts to every single person, wrapped like this, and so cute, with Vaseline, with something for the lips, with the sanitizer, so many things, and that was just so nice, but the effort is the thing that matters here. Anyways, let's go back to the flight, you guys. I'm talking about everything, so I tend to forget. So anyways, khalas, you finish your break, or anyways, you go back, you do the other service, and then you will start your pre-landing duties. So we collect blankets, we collect headsets, and then check that the customers all have the seat belts and everything before we land. And then we land, bye to everyone, and then khalas, the flight is finished and you go to the hotel. Maybe you will have an amazing layover, maybe you will just have a layover that you will rest in. And I will tell you the story because you definitely need to see this video and you need to be vigilant, what the other cabin crew members are doing to you. And this is hilarious, and this flight was one of the best flights I've ever had because of the cabin crew. So literally the cabin crew can make or break your flight. On this one, it was a multi-sector, but I cannot remember which multi-sector was that, but I remember that the crew was amazing, literally all of them, and the supervisor was amazing to all of us. And you know that they have to change positions. So basically, for example, in this sector he worked in economy class, the next sector he will be working as a supervisor in business class. But then nope, he chose to be working in economy class with us the whole time, like the 4 sectors, or I don't know how many sectors, but anyways, all of them he worked with us because we just clicked and we were having fun. Of course, we were doing everything per standards, but then we were having fun and, you know, we were not bored or anything. Anyways, he told us and we came up with an idea, you know, that we need to prank the new joiner. She's a soupy, so it's like her new flights, not the new one, but then she's operating. She's not just watching and, you know, learning from all of the seniors ones, but she's working as well. And you need to watch this video before we talk about it and I explain what we did.
Beautiful. Not too close to me.
So basically on this flight we came up with an idea to tell her that when we're landing in Dubai she needs to go and talk to every single person on the flight. And anyways, what we did to her, so basically we told her that she needs to go in her cabin, take a piece of paper and a pen and ask every single customer if they're going to Dubai, if they're going to a different destination, what is the purpose of their travel, if it's business or they're just going for vacation, how many people they're traveling with, and if this is the first time they're traveling with Emirates or they flew with Emirates already, like before. Anyways, and she needed to write all of this in a piece of a paper, and then when you saw in the video, she hung the paper in the aft galley because we told her that you need to hang it there. After you asked every single person in your cabin, and all of us will do this, and obviously we're lying, none of us did this. This is just for her. Because we wanted to laugh at that time, and she was furious, but then, you know, furious in a good way at that time when she hung it, and we're like videoing her and we're like, oh my god, you fell for it, and she's like, I knew it. So anyone can do this to you. Actually, senior cabin crew can prank you big time when you start flying, and they can do so many things, not just this one. They can do so many things to you when you just, you know, started flying. You don't really know what to do, what not to do, you know, you're not familiar with everything else, so they can prank you big time. And this is what we did, but it was a flight that I will never forget, and I will want to do that flight in a heartbeat. Like, I loved that flight. I loved every single person on that flight. We had so much fun, even on the layovers. Like, those people are amazing, and I hope you will have something like this one day in your life. And I really hope this video helped you, gave you some details, not too many details to bore you, but at the same time I believe this will prep you a little bit. Now if you want more videos like this, I'm more than happy to help you. Just let me know down there, and if you're new, subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up, share the video if you like it. See you on the other videos, and bye bye.